Hi. So here we are in a new space. We're in the basement of our house. It's a good area. It's a bit cramped, but good fun. This is our new workshop. Um, so enjoy the rest of the videos here. So this is what I've been doing today. I've been sanding the air boxes, making them look much nicer, getting the slight amounts of rust off them. As you can see, the bottom of the airbox still needs a lot of work, and that is going to need sandblasting, as is the inside of this. I've also been taking apart the intake plenum and inspecting it, cleaning it, and we'll have to sandblast this as well to then repaint it. But yeah, we're going to just get on. So this, at first glance, looks like individual throttle bodies, and I guess you could say they are, but it then goes straight into a big open void anyway. But it's got a reasonably intricate way of working, kind of reminiscent of carburetors of the era. It uses these springs to hold it shut, and then obviously the throttle. This is for tuning the injection, if I remember correctly. You got these on both sides, and then one on the actual injection pump too. And as I said earlier, this is the bottom of the airbox. It looks pretty rough at the moment, but it'll clean up really well with a sandblaster. As you can see, there's the little gauge for tuning the fuel injector. There's a needle that runs across that. Sorry, fuel pump. The latches and stuff are all in reasonable condition. They can be reused. It's a lovely old pipe that looks like a bit of garden hose.
What gaskets do we need on here?
So you need engine to intake gaskets.
Right.
You need cold start injector gasket.
Right.
You need intake runners to throttle blade housing gasket. You then need airbox to throttle blade gasket.
Right.
We may need throttle shaft seals. I'll have to look into that. Okay. We may need bronze bushings for that. Right. We also need a rubber square seal for the top of the airbox to the bottom. Yeah. Here we are in a smelly, damp basement. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it means that we can work on parts much easier and get to them, which was good. We don't have to travel over an hour.
We started already. We've the brake calipers and brake discs that David Keane in Canada sent to us.
A little sneak peek. You'll see.
They've been
more of that.
We've got the. We'll take some cutaway shots and show you some of the mess. But like the bonnet's just behind the camera, the boot lid is over there, the doors are in the corner there. There are loads of parts everywhere.
They're a bit better spread out though, which means it's easy to get to. They're not all stacked and in boxes, so we know where everything is.
The front and rear bumper, the chrome is in really good nick, isn't it?
It is, especially the front, is it?
The rear.
Is the rear. Rear. One of them is very good condition, the other is reasonable.
We probably re-chrome them at some point, but frankly they're like concourse condition anyway now. So we just painted the inside of them to stop them rusting anymore. And once we do a part, we wrap it in the cling film.
Yeah, plastic.
Plastic wrap, like cling film. We've got the parts washer here.
We have the parts washer.
Plus all of the hardware.
Everything. Apart from the interior, which is in the shed.
Yeah, we'll get on and show you a few more bits, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sounds good.
Cool. Should we turn that off?
Yeah. Car's gone. Yeah,
Yeah.
bit of a shame really. But
Yeah, end of an era, but
we're not stopping.
We're not stopping.
We're going to carry on.
We just have to move it close to London.
Which means we'll get things done faster, I think, as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. The final one.
So these brake discs have already been restored by David Keane in Canada. Part of doing this job is also to, these are rubber seals, I don't want to paint them. So they've got to be masked off. Okay, everything masked up, ready to go. I'll just give it a coat of paint. You can see where I painted the other one here. And that's parts washers at 40 degrees now. Ooh. So I'll go and, while this dries, I will go, I'll paint this partly anyway. First coat on, build up probably 3 coats, and then that'll be done. So we want this car to be as close to concourse as possible. This is a brand new brake disc, but it's been lying for quite a while. Parts washer does. It's given a pretty good clean to that. We'll dry it off, and we will paint it ready for storage. And I showed you the caliper earlier, which we're painting. Obviously, it takes a long time to restore a car, so it's a good idea to get the parts and start restoring them. That's all clean now and prepped, ready to paint. They're the rear brakes. As far as I know, they're off an E-Type or XJS. Sometimes you come across an air tool which is just fantastic, and this is like it's like a wire brush. You can see there it's mounted at right angles to a normal wire brush. This is called an eraser tool. Quite a few people make it. This one's made by Sealy in the UK. I think it's UK. A sandblaster will get into really tight spots, but this actually does a really good job when you just need to get things done quickly. Because the sandblaster is a fairly slow process, this, for fairly large parts like that, for instance, or this radius arm, works just as well and gives a really good finish. And then we clean it in the parts washer. Then we take the bushings, or you might call them bushes, out, steel and rubber bushes, because they'll be clean in there. We'll do that with the press, which we've got, but we'll clean them up first, then we'll paint them after we've done all of that, and clean them in the parts washer. Before and after shot. That's what it looks like before you touch it with the eraser tool, and that's what it looks like when you've finished. It does a really good job. It's at quite a rate, so make sure you wear eye protection with that machine. Those things do have a tendency to come out of the fabric they're attached to. You really don't want to catch one of those in the eye. So make sure you wear eye protection with that machine.
We are, because we're down relegated to the basement now, we are basically cleaning off all the different parts of this car, getting them really nice, rebuilding anything we need to, like the calipers, the rear brake calipers, because we don't have new ones of those, and we don't want to have to buy new ones unless we need to, because they're perfectly fine to rebuild. So at the moment we've been cleaning them, we've degreased them, and now we're going to clean them off, and then after that we need to take them apart and see how they look, because we know we need to get a new master cylinder for this car because it's absolutely destroyed, but the brakes may not be. So exactly.
there's like a ratchet on there, just there. And the split pins that hold the top on. These are, I'm talking to camera. These have got little springs behind them that help to push them out. But that will come off. I'm basically going to take it apart. The ratchet is there. It's like a spring. It just sits there. And it's got a blind rivet holding it on in place. So I can't take that off necessarily. But unless I rivet it back on, it's steel riveted. You see the blind rivet there? You can see it better on that side. You can see it. There it is. This is a spring. It's in one piece. We don't know if these are salvageable to be honest, because the pistons are so welded in there. They might be. We're going to have to replace the pistons anyway. If the bores are knackered, then back to square one. Probably. Anyway, let's give it a go. Our best shot. So that pin is coming out, believe it or not. The split pin actually broke in two. The split pin broke in two, but that's to me. It's sitting outside in Sweden for a long time, but the pins actually are in reasonably good condition. They look as if they're stainless steel. They are. They're stainless. So that pin's going to come out in a minute. I'll get that one out. So the pins are out. The pins are out. This mechanism has come apart. It's held on by this. There's a spring in there, which hooks round, which I'm just about to pull off, which has come off, which allows these to come out. Anyway, I'll keep taking them apart. It's simple. You unclip that spring from there, you push the spring through, and the little brake pad comes off with the spring, which releases the mechanism. So that fits on that side, like that, through that hole. There's a hole in there, that gap there. And that just comes nicely off. There's a pin through there you can see. I don't think that really needs to come out. It's obviously allows it to pivot. Well, it's meant to allow it to pivot. And there's the little ratchet, the self-adjuster for the brake shoes, the little brake shoes. It's a very clever system actually. Much better than brake discs. I mean brake drums. Because it acts on the acts on the top of the disc, just like the bottom does. Second shoe, which is on the bolt side, it's held on by that little spring clip there. You can see the spring end just there, and I'll be able to lift that off with the pliers and pull that brake shoe out. And it's taken off, and that little spring just catches on there. Probably can both sides. You can see there's a dent on both sides. That comes off though. That little spring sits through there, and that goes around there. That end there. Just getting all the tools sorted out. I masked these. These are the original bumpers. This is the rear one, I think. No, this is the front bumper, which is in reasonably, well, it's in very good condition on the outside. But on the inside where it's been welded, there's tiny bits. I mean, you can see it's pretty good, but I painted it. I think it's always a good idea with chromed bumpers to paint them inside. You can see they're in pretty good condition, but where they were welded, where that area is there, they were starting to go, and there's a little bit there that's flaking, which I'm going to repair. We'll probably get them chromed one day, but they're in such good condition. Outside, I'll show you later, but there's really no point right now. So we're going to pack them up here and wrap them. Yeah. I'm doing a video, thank you, for a 50-year-old piece of kit. A little bit of overspray there, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, I'll unwrap that. I'm not going to bore you to tears with it, but yeah, you go with that. It's beautiful. It's all wrapped, ready to go back on. The rear bumper got the same treatment. You can see it's all been painted inside. This is much better condition. It wasn't flaking at all. It's only welded there. You can just about see the weld. You can see where the mounting brackets are. That'll be where the number plate goes. Yeah, that's in really good condition. The rear one, much better than the front one. The outsides of both are very, very good, as you can see. Perfect, in fact. Well, it needs a bit of cleaning, but we did clean it off with soap and water, and then use thinners on the inside as well. But that'll last a long time like that. And it is original, we think, so there's no point re-chroming those. They're in pretty much concourse condition as they are.